Good morning, folks. How are you? Hope you're all okay. Right, so I'm fully aware when I was building. Let's start. This is update number 1 on my 75th anniversary of Kursk group build entry. It's run by Michael Campbell at Coen and Nigel Wells. My Modelling World on YouTube, and Mike's name on YouTube is Coen C or Coen's Models. Sorry, Mike. So yeah, this is my entry for that group build. It's taken me quite a while to decide what I wanted to do, and a lot of patience from Mike and Nige themselves. Thank you very much, because I keep posting, asking them in various kits that I got on the stash, or whether I could enter these, certain things into the group build. So I thank you for that. So anyway, I've come up with this one because I've only ever built one Stug before, and that was the Stug 4, the cheaper Tamiya kit that you can get. I think it's about 13-14 quid, so it's a good build, good price, and it's a really good build, to be fair. Definitely for beginners too, but a lot of Tamiya kits are. Right, so I've decided to build this. It's going to be situated in Kursk, obviously. Now, the kit so far, you'll see, I've literally built it. The only thing that needs to be done now is the side skirts of the tank. But I've been looking at research pictures for ages and ages, and I can't find anything. So before we go on to research and what I've been using, let's have a look at where I've got to so far. So we'll move this. Right, so that's where we've got to so far, and as you can see, it's literally built. Now, I've done all the wheels. The wheels are painted and done. I've just got to seal it all in with a gloss and weather them, obviously, but I should weather them when I sort of weather the whole vehicle, I suppose. Right, so those of you that have built this kit will know that you could, if you're more eagle-eyed and note, I have added a couple of things to the kit. So the first thing, save that because that's going to keep dropping down. The first thing I've added are, let's get a little pointy sticky. I haven't got one like Matt Hill's got, but I will be, don't you worry, Mr. Hill. Right, so first things I've added, which are clear, is the tow cables. I've used picture wire to do that. The kit comes with, let me find it, the usual Tamiya sort of kit tow cables nowadays, which is this rope. However, I have used this before and it's good, and they do look like tow cables, but what I tend to do is use these, because then I save that, and then you've got like sort of realistic looking sort of rope that you could add to the kit or add on a diorama or whatever. So that will go in the spares box. So I've added tow cables. Now, the kit doesn't come with any brackets for the tow cables, and I thought, I was building away and I didn't think anything else of it, and then I started looking at it and I thought, the more eagle-eyed people are going to look at that and think it just doesn't look right, and how on earth are they going to stay on the kit? So what I've done is I've gone through my spares boxes, and I've actually found, I think they were Tiger ones, or they might have been the Jag Panther one I did, a couple of sort of hooks and that I'm going to use. Now, they look a bit tall, so what I may do is take them off again, sand them down a bit, and then add it, then put them back on. I've also got a couple of extra sort of wider ones as well, which I'm going to stick on the back of the tow cable up here. Now it does look it does look a lot better. However, they look a bit tall for the kit, and I know all the sort of rivet counters or whatever else are going to be screaming at the screen right now and saying that's not right and whatever else. But I mean, if you look on the box here, I don't know if you'll see it, but just there, it does look like that they've got sort of the latches to keep them on. So I'm going to sand them down a bit, I think, and then add it on, which I think will be a bit better. So, and then the other thing I've added is these grills here. I basically had from other Tamiya kits or some other kits I've built before these netting that you have to use for. I think it was a Challenger. Was it the Challenger? Yeah, I think it's a Challenger 1 Tamiya kit that you get these to make the sort of turret baskets and that, which are a bloody nightmare. But however, I sort of cut that up to size and added it there. You're supposed to add some as well to that grill there at the bottom, but to be fair, you're not going to see that anyway, really. So I've just left it off. If it's going to go on a diorama that is going to be blown up or tilted or whatever else, then I'll come back and add some more, I think. The other thing I was going to do is, instead of using the sort of material type ones, which these are, is an old sieve. I come up with the idea a few months back. I thought I bought a sort of really cheap sieve, and I've basically cut the metal, but of course, obviously, it's warped and rounded because of the way sieves are. So, but you know, you can manipulate it to do that, but it was just the gaps in it were just a bit too wide in the sort of grills to make it look sort of realistic. So I thought I'll leave it there. There's a couple of fiddly parts, but nothing major. There's these pins here that keep the spare wheels on. They're a bit of a pain to sort of get them tilted to the side, but obviously after adding a bit of glue ready for it, it worked. The barrel cleaning rod, which is up here, it can be quite tricky, because the pin that keeps it in place is there, and of course you've added these spare track links to the back of the sort of the mount or turret, is it? I don't know, because it's not really so that can be a bit fiddly, but other than that, that is literally it, guys. That's caused any. Oh, sorry, one more, yeah. And the smoke grenade dischargers, they could be a bit fiddly. What I did is I cut the base off, cut the tubes off, sanded them, made them all right, and then I sort of just put the light on, you see it a bit better, and then added them on there. So perhaps next time what I should probably do is add the base plate on and then add the smoke discharge on there. It's just a learning curve, isn't it? The machine gun shield is okay, you can have it up or down. I've had it up because I'm going to have both of the turrets open. The figures that come with this are these two, which is a quite nice little idea for a diorama, I suppose, with the dog and whatever else. I'm not building the figures. I'm going to save them for when I do come to using this for a diorama, or I shall use them with a different vehicle. That's it, really. I'm not sort of in the frame of mind at the minute, guys, for building a diorama. I just want to build the kits and just have them nicely displayed on the shelf at the minute. I've got 2 dioramas in mind, hopefully sometime this year, but that's it. On this bit, these 2 tow cables here, I've sort of they've ended up the wrong way round, but I could not get them to glue to and stick to the side. They just would not do it. It took me about 20 minutes to do it, and I always use these super glues, as they're excellent super glues. The deluxe material ones, and they come with different bonding times, so you've got 10 to 20 seconds. This one is lethal, this is 1 to 5 seconds, and it's so thin that if you tilt the thing, it just flies off everywhere, and if you're not careful, you stick your fingers together, you're flaming your nose to the cutting mat, all sorts. So I use those, and this is my that one's a bit more, 10 to 20 seconds, and it's like sort of crystal clear, and it's actually safe for foam, so that's a good one to have. And the 5 to 10 seconds, which is my go-to one at the minute, really, I use that one. Yeah, but it would not stick. The bugger wouldn't stick, and then eventually it did. So I put some clamps on it, left it, and then came back to it, and it fitted. So yeah, I've perhaps made a mistake in the barrel here. Let's just show you on the instructions. You get like sort of 2 bits that sort of if that's the barrel, you got like little ends like that. And then you've got like 2 bits that you have to slide in, which are inside the turret, which I'll just show you on the building, on the manual. So yeah, here. So if you look, you've got like these 2 sort of arms, I suppose, and this underneath. and they bond together, these do, with the sort of roundy thing there, and then you plug them in and it goes inside there. However, when I started to put these bits onto there, it didn't sort of weld very well and it wouldn't get in, so I thought it would probably slip if I'd left it. However, so what I did is I put my X-Acto blade in and sort of rounded it off and smoothed it so they'd fit on perfectly. However, now the barrel, if you move it enough, just drops down. So I can actually see the bits here inside the turret if I could sort of like get a bit of glue on the end of it, something a bit long like a paintbrush or a bit of sprue, and then just add it just so it sticks properly, you know. So that's that. But apart from that, I've left the jack off, as if I put the jack on, it's quite thick, so it would stop me being able to paint the sort of iron bar wrench here and the axe. So I've left that off. I was going to leave these two wheels off, the spare wheels, and paint them with the other wheels and then attach them on later. However, I'm going to actually do this kit like Evan does, Panzermeister 36, and I'm going to pretend that basically they were on the machine and then it was painted, and of course, you know, it was done from there. So I'm going to chip the black rubber so it, you know, so it looks as though it's coming through. That's how I'm going to sort of work on that way, I think. And again, if not, if it's ballsed up, then obviously it's a learning curve, isn't it? You don't do it again. The turrets are left off because you'll see. Let's just show you. These are all the bits. The turret is brill. It's a lovely little. It's a bit going along dragon sort of ways. On this turret, you've got like your binoculars here on the turret, so you've got them there, but then they go underneath like so. So, and then you get the turret, which is open, that goes on top like so. But then if you look underneath, take that off again, you've got the observation glass for when the turret hatch is shut. So if that was on there, it'd be quite difficult to sort of, once I've sprayed it all in the base coat on, to paint these separate. So I'm just leaving them off for now. That's the jack, which is nice because it's actually comes with the brackets. You see that properly? The brackets on it, which will clamp it down. And then I've used I'll show you the paint colours I use at the minute, which are the wheels, which are all done ready, and the drive sprocket and the idler wheel are all done, so they are done. I've got the machine gun to do, and then these, which are a bit of a pain in the rear end, but they're the brackets for the shears and to stick on. And that's a different matter what we come up to now. I'm not going to put them all back in at the minute because I can't, it'll take ages and it'll bore you. Now, the colours I used for the base coat was, I was going to give this a go, which is the Model Air 71.025, which is dark yellow, and it's Dunkelgelb. I was going to give that a go on this, which I might do just underneath though at the base, just so if I don't like it very much, I can revert back to my go-to brand, which is of course Tamiya. So this is the one I shall use, which I've used on the wheels so far, and it's XF60 dark yellow. And if any of you wonder, what I'll do is when I've thinned it with this is fantastic because number one, it makes the room smell lovely, and it makes the Tamiya paints sort of go down a lot smoother, and it's lovely. It really is great stuff, and that was a tip given to me by James from E-Models, but it was great. It really was good stuff. So that's what I do. I put that, I've topped it up to the little neck where inside the bottles, if you guys that haven't used it before, there's like a little brim inside the just below the top there, and I always thin it up, add the thinner up to there, put the top back on, give it a shake, and then I give it a good go with the Badger paint sort of stirrer mixer thing. It sounds like something else, doesn't it? And then it's all done ready, and then I tip it into the airbrush. So I'm going with what the instructions call out, which is the dark yellow XF60. So we're going to give that a go, and then I'm going to use that Vallejo, obviously, just where you're not going to be able to see. And then what I do is for the tracks incidentally are a lot of people's worst nightmare, which are these, the rubber band ones, but I actually quite like them. I don't mind any of them. I've never tried metal tracks, never, but I will do in time, obviously when budget allows you to. But I always base coat them with dark iron, which is XF84, because it's a metallic look and it's black, and you just don't have to keep sort of mixing colours to get the right sort of, you know. And then you can add like your rust colours on top. And if I wanted them a little bit rusty, what I do is I normally use like a MIG ammo red colour, and that sort of just a quick skirt of it, and then it, you know, it looks quite okay, I suppose. Just incidentally, guys, I know the camera keeps clicking, but I have to say this in a lot of videos because people don't listen to me. It's just the camera. I can't do anything about it. It just does it itself. And then for the rubber, I use what probably a lot of other guys use, which is XF85, which is rubber black. And then what I do is, because a lot of modelers do miss this out, and when I've looked in real life at tyres, you can actually see it. And what I do is I get a bit of sponge and I chip the tyres, but I use MIG Ammo's rubber in tyres, which is the number's rubbed off, but I use that because it's like a sort of a bit of a darker light grey, so to speak, so it does show up, and then it just looks like the tyres are worn, you know, and that's good. And beforehand I always go over with a sander, because a lot of the, well, in fact all of the wheels had a flaming seam line right round them, and then obviously the cut marks when you cut them off the sprue. So they were all done. Plus, also it looks worn, doesn't it? Which is, you know, it gives it quite a good appearance sort of thing. So that's so far. I shall prime them with my go-to primer. I tend to use two. I use my UMP1, which is grey. I always use that one for normal. But then if I want a sort of thinner sort of coat of primer, I tend to use the Vallejo ones, which I know a lot of people hate, but I like them. I especially tend to try and use them mainly for figures and stuff like that, where the detail needs to be picked up. Excuse me, guys. I'm just losing my voice a bit. My jam rattling on. Yeah, so there we go. And then it will go down. Now, the problem I've come up with, and I've asked the forum and that, the Facebook page, and everybody's had the comments, but I do know now. These side skirts, now if you look, that is actually the piece that you'll see, so that will go on the side like that. However, there's points here. Now what I wanted to do, and what I did with the last stug I built, was cut these all separate. Number two as well, they've all got ejector pin marks which need sanding off, which is a pain, pardon me. Plus also, if I do cut them, if you look here, the holes are sort of there, so it's going to look, well, it's just going to look not right. So it looks like I'm going to have to do what I didn't want to do and keep it together and add them that way. So I just think it looks a bit unrealistic, because I don't think they come like that. I think they come separately. And I wanted to leave the odd one off so you could see sort of the weathering I'm going to do underneath. But I don't know, it'll still come around that. I mean, if I wasn't going to add these, it would be job done. You know, it's all done ready for primer and paint, but it isn't. These spare track links, I found a research picture of a stug which had this crew had put them here to give them more protection, and I quite like that idea. Now I'd already stuck them on, them spare ones there at the back already, so I couldn't do that. So I've put one there, and then I've added one there on the other side. The aerials come with a little nib, so I've cut that off, and I shall add a bit of copper wiring for the aerials, which is a bit more solid, and it just helps them, you know, not to break so easily. The flash on this kit has been great as well. There's barely any flash because it's Tamiya. But yeah, a lot of people ask me what I use for research materials. I love the Osprey books, and especially these images of war books. They are fantastic. The pictures that you get, I mean, if any of you want a quick sort of a book review of them, see here straight away, here is the Kursk, and it's got the shears and plates on there down the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but the the tanks are coming out of the little village type of thing, and they are Ausf, which is the kit I'm doing. So these are like sort of things, and there's the actual page, Luke Ausf, where the crew have added these for extra protection. So I just like that. Now, a couple of stugs I've seen as well look like they got a bit of a dip, a sag in the tracks, which obviously these aren't. One thing I have seen now on the back of this, if you look carefully, you can actually see the wires going into the back of them. So, but these are too sort of stuck too close now, so I wouldn't be able to do that, but it's something to know for next time. And of course this. So I've used this one, which is German assault guns and tank destroyers 1940 to 1945. And then I've been using, well, I shall be using this for the camouflage guide. Now, the one that comes with the kit is a separate piece of paper, and it's that colour, which is dark yellow and sort of dark green, the green to do the squiggly lines on. So that's the one I'm picking out. So hopefully that will work out. But I have seen the odd one or two pictures that say that it's sort of the reddish brown. If you look here, this is one that I've picked out here, and it's another G, and it says this Stug 3 Ausf is likely from PGD AH during the Battle of Kursk. So yeah, and that's like sort of the reddy brown. But I'm going to stick with what the kit says, I think, which is the green. I think I'm going to do that. But yeah, I've been using this book, which is big ammo. Now AK do a few of these as well, but they're excellent. They really are. Again, I can do a book review, a bookmark book review if you like. But these are very good. And the other one I'm using is, this is the Osprey book, which is Kursk 1943. Now, I believe, which I didn't know, this is one of 3, so there's another 2 to get, so I might look at doing that. But I mean, the pictures and information that they give you in this one as well, I mean, it really is superb. You know, when you get like colour photos, Stuka, colour photos of the call outs and stuff. So again, this is really good book to have, you know. So I do like these Osprey books. I've got quite a few, but a couple of years ago when I was building my stash, I just love research being books. I just love them. You know, it's better than, I just love it better than Google. So there you go. Right, guys. So I dread to think what time it is because I can't see from where I am. But I've been waffling on enough now. So I was building away because I've enjoyed this kit so much. I've been building away, and I thought, bloody hell, I haven't done an update. But I've been posting my pictures and my updates on the Kursk 75 anniversary Facebook page. So I have been doing that. But I did want to do the videos where you have a chat, talk about it, and then add you some build photos afterwards. Now, every time I did manage to do that a few months ago, and it worked, and I've not changed my method in doing anything. And for some reason now, YouTube won't upload it. It just won't do it for some reason. So it'll just be the waffle video, and then the next update might be pictures, and then the update after that might be, you know, me waffling on again. But hopefully today sometime, hopefully I'll get some primer on and get that done and dusted, and then hopefully, you know, I may even get the base coat on later. I don't know, but I've got to sort out these shears and plates first and decide what to do with them. So yeah. Right, guys, if you're still listening to me and you're still on and you're not nodded off, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But again, if there's anything that you like or would like to know more, ask us in the comments, or, you know, reviews or whatever you want, then give us a shout. Thanks for all sticking by me, guys, and supporting the page. You know, it's really good. I'm well chuffed with it. So yeah, right. I hope you're well. I hope you'll stay safe, and may the force be with you guys.